Good morning, students. So, this year in MSc Final, I will be teaching you the fourth paper, which is Electrodynamics and Plasma Physics. Unlike previous years, the question paper will be of 40 marks only. So, there are 4 units in the course: Electrodynamics 2 units and 2 units of Plasma Physics. So I will begin with the electrodynamics. The course of the electrodynamics is already provided to you. It includes Maxwell equation, wave equations for vector and scalar potential and solutions, Liénard-Bichard potential, electric and magnetic field due to a uniformly moving charge and an accelerated charge, power radiated by a point charge, linear and circular acceleration, angular distribution of power radiated, synchrotron radiation and Cherenkov radiation, and then reaction force of radiation. The second unit is based on the 4 vector concept of 4 vectors. So it is Lorentz transformation in 4-dimensional space. 4 vectors, position 4 vectors, velocity 4 vectors, momentum 4 vectors, current density 4 vectors, and the vector potential 4 vectors and their transformation under Lorentz transformation. Then we have electromagnetic field tensor. We will have to write down the Maxwell equations in terms of electromagnetic field tensor. We will understand what is a dual field tensor and how does the electric field and the magnetic field transform from one frame of reference to another. So this is about your course curriculum for the electrodynamics part. Later on, I'll tell you the course on plasma physics. Otherwise, the course is already available on our Kanpur University website and you can all have a look at it. I have written 5 books here for you as reference. One is Introduction to Plasma Physics by D.J. Griffith. The other is Classical Electricity and Magnetism by Penofsky and Phillips. The third is Foundations of Electromagnetic Theory by Rees and Milford. Then we have Classical Electrodynamics by J.D. Jackson. And finally, an Indian writer book, that is Electrodynamics by Gupta, Kumar and Singh, or there is a book by Satya Prakash that is also available in the market. So for Indian side, you can have either of the two. I will suggest you to study electrodynamics by using the book of Electrodynamics by D.J. Griffith. As long as the college is not open and we are going to have your class on digital form, so I will provide you the e-copy of Introduction to Electrodynamics by D.J. Griffith and you can read it. When the college opens, you don't have to purchase. All these books are basically the part of our departmental library, so you can borrow it for some time, read it, return it back, and then get issue some other book also. So that is how you can interact with all these books and you have to study your course. So to begin with, in the first lecture, I am going to revise some basic things that you have already studied. One is the Ohm's law. Ohm's law was introduced to you in class 9th, that potential difference across a conductor is proportional to the current going through it. Then in the class 12th, you were introduced to the Drude-Lorentz theory, free electron theory, that electrons move freely and they contribute to the conduction, and based on that theory we derived another equation, that is J is equal to sigma E. J is the current density, sigma is the conductivity, and E is the electric field. This is another form of Ohm's law. We can rewrite it as E is equal to J upon sigma and 1 upon sigma is rho. Rho is called resistivity. Please don't confuse between this rho, because this rho will not come now in future. The rho that will come will basically be the charge volume, charge density. So don't confuse between the two. In this course, there are several symbols which will be duplicated at several times. So we will keep on replacing them. For example, you basically we represent dielectric constant by capital K, and then we have propagation constant also denoted by K. So we will replace basically dielectric constant by something like epsilon, or as we use mu, or relative permeability in magnetism. So this is Ohm's law. This is Ohm's law. We will modify it also later and we will call it as modified Ohm's law. The other is we talk about homogeneous and isotropic medium. Homogeneous medium is the one where the material has uniform properties throughout its volume. And isotropic volume is that in all directions the property, the physical property of the material are the same. Direction independent property means isotropic medium. And if the properties are direction dependent, the material is called anisotropic medium, and the physics in anisotropic medium is totally different from that of isotropic medium. So now I will write down some of the equations that you have already studied. One is capital D is equal to epsilon 0 E plus P. Capital D is called displacement vector. Capital E is called electric field, and capital P is called polarization vector. You must have read about polarization vector capital P. Capital P polarization vector is called total dipole moment per unit volume of the dielectric material is called polarization vector capital P. We also write it as the bound charge density. I am not going to derive these equations. I am simply going to just tell you, just to revise all these things. Then we can also write this as a D is equal to epsilon 0 Ke. In place of K, I told you K is dielectric constant. I will write down epsilon R. Epsilon R is nothing but the dielectric constant. So we can also write a capital D to be equal to epsilon 0 epsilon R into capital E. Coming on to the magnetic field side, we have B is equal to mu 0 H plus I. B is intensity of magnetic field, H is the applied magnetic field, and I is intensity of magnetization, total magnetic moment per unit volume of the magnetic material. Similar guidelines will help us to write capital B to be equal to mu 0, the permeability in free space, and then mu R is the relative permeability multiplied by capital H, and we can club them to write B is equal to simply mu H. When we write down mu 0, it is in vacuum. When we write down mu, means we have to incorporate the effect of the medium also. Similarly, on the electric field side, the value of capital D will be equal to epsilon 0 E. So epsilon here is epsilon 0 into K, but I told you that I am not using capital K, okay, so I am using epsilon R. So it is permittivity of free space multiplied by the relative permittivity or the dielectric constant. So if there is vacuum, then we will write D to be equal to epsilon 0 E and B to be equal to mu 0 H. Then you must have read about equation of continuity at several stages. In fluid dynamics also we talk about equation of continuity, but this is the equation of continuity in electrostatics. It is also called the law of conservation of charge. You must have read that the charge can neither be created nor be destroyed. Charge is always conserved. So the definition of equation of continuity is if the net charge crossing a surface bounding a closed volume is not equal to 0, then the charge density within the volume will change with time in such a fashion that the time rate of decrease of the charge within the volume will be equal to the net rate of flow of charge out of the volume. So this statement is called equation of continuity. Mathematically we write it as divergence of J plus a del rho over del T. J is current density and rho is volume charge density. So now I will derive it for you. Okay, I have taken an arbitrary surface which encloses a volume to be equal to capital B. Suppose we divide the entire volume into small infinitesimal element. We can exploit the definition of current. I is nothing but dq upon dt. What is q? Q is the charge enclosed within the volume, and if we divide into small pieces and suppose one small volume is dB, then we can write it rho dB is the volume on a small volume element, and finally we can integrate over the whole volume, or we can add all the contributions, because integrating over the whole volume is the mathematical way of writing down the current. So I is equal to d over dt integration over the volume or volume integration of rho into dB. When we write down this equation, we consider that the current is extended in the space of volume B closed by a surface S. The net amount of charge which crosses a unit area, that is normal to the direction of the charge flow on a surface in unit time, is defined as basically current density capital J. Now we all know that charge is always conserved. Therefore, if a net amount of current is flowing outward a closed surface, the charge contained within the volume will decrease at a rate minus dq upon dt. So mathematically we can write minus dq upon dt to be equal to I. So these are the two equations with whom we have to play to write down minus d over dt of volume integral rho dB is equal to surface integral j dot ds. Now if you look at this equation, on one side we have a surface integral, while on the other side we have a volume integral. We are familiar with two very important equations in vector algebra. One is a Gauss divergence theorem that basically helps us to convert a volume integral into a surface integral, and other is well known Stokes theorem. By using Stokes theorem, we can convert a surface integral into a line integral or vice versa. So we make use of Gauss divergence theorem to convert the surface integral into a volume integral. So j dot ds now becomes equal to divergence of j into dB. Right now B is volume. Next on the next page B will be converted into basically the potential. So be careful. So divergence of j into dB is now equal to minus integration del rho over del t into dB. Since both are now volume integral, we can put them together and we can write down the volume integral of divergence of j plus a del rho over del t into dB must be equal to 0. Since this equation holds for any arbitrary volume, so this will be satisfied only if we put the integrand to be equal to 0. That means divergence of j plus a del rho over del t equal to 0. This is the well-known continuity equation. Well-known continuity equation. It simply states that the total current flowing out of the volume must be equal to the rate of decrease of the current within the volume. Okay, so this is basically simply based on charge can neither be created nor be destroyed. If we talk about, normally we talk about two types of current, steady currents and then the non-steady currents. Steady currents are also called stationary current and non-steady currents are called transient currents. For non-steady currents, the value of rho will be constant, volume charge density will be constant. So therefore, del rho over del t, the rate of change of rho as a function of time will be equal to 0. So we can write down divergence to be j to be equal to 0. So divergence j is equal to 0 means that there is no net outward flux of the current density, and this is nothing but the equation of continuity for stationary currents or for steady currents.